Standby everyone. It's Friday the 20th of June and the UK is experiencing a heat wave. I'm not actually able to go anywhere in the van because Gordon isn't here and he's the only one who is currently insured to drive it. So instead, I am sat in the van on my driveway with all the doors open to give Wallace a little bit of an airing and to enjoy a very nice iced latte from Avimore Costa. Because I can't go anywhere right now, we'll hopefully get out actually this afternoon or this evening. I thought I would do a video showing everything we learned or chatting about everything we learned on our first family van trip, which happened last week when we went to Falkirk and Stirling. So you might have seen some pictures on the Instagram account, but I thought I would share in the video what we learned about being in the van as a family of three, and also all the things that we had either forgotten to take with us or didn't realise we would need and then had to dash out and buy, or we'll maybe have to order now that we're home. So I will try and insert pictures of the things that I'm talking about in a corner, but it's been about 10 years since I edited a video for YouTube, so my skills might be a bit rusty. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. So to start off with, I think we'll talk about what we learned on this Falkirk Stirling trip. And obviously this is not a whole negative thing, it's because I really want to show our journey as campervan newbies and have you come along and see all the, I don't know, the mistakes we made or the things we forgot, so that if you're somebody who's starting out, you'll be like, oh yeah, they forgot to take that with them, I must remember that. I will also talk about one or two things that we took that we didn't need. So yeah, it's a whole full transparency and you get to see all the stuff. So yeah, the first thing we'll do is we'll talk about what we learned. And one of the most important things we learned was how to reset our gas boiler, our Truma combi boiler. So one of the things we wanted to do whilst we were on a campsite was try out the shower. Now that sounds kind of counterintuitive, doesn't it? Like, you're on a campsite, you've paid for the services, you use theirs. The reason why was so that if anything went horribly wrong, we had the backup of the campsite, so we would know what we were doing before we ever went off grid. But we couldn't get the hot water to work, so we'd followed the instructions from I think it was, I can't remember the name of the motorhome dealers videos that we watched, a full like handover video about how to get things working in the Solaris XL. One was Highland Campervans and the other was another one, but I will put the links down below. We did all that and it didn't work, so eventually Gordon did some more YouTube research and we found a video that showed us like common things about why it might not be working, one of which was to press a tiny little button in the boiler to kind of reset it, which worked a treat. So again, I will put the link down below, and we now know how to reset our boiler when it decides it's having a bit of a huffy fit. I will say after that the shower was amazingly hot and it was really good. It's a really good shower. It's the same as any wet room, I think, in that you have to dry it down afterwards, which is something that we'll talk about, something I'm going to buy. And I'm only 5'2", so the sizing was absolutely fine for me. I don't know how it would be for Gordon, but it's his turn to try it next time. The next thing we learned is that we need a sticker on our dashboard to remind us to unhook the hookup cable. Yeah, less said about that the better. The van is fine, the hookup cable is fine, the point we were hooked up to is fine, but we will be purchasing something for that. We now have our pre-flight routine nailed down. Here's an important one. Everyone needs to know the correct place for everything. So despite everybody being told exactly where everything lives, they don't always put it back where it's supposed to go, which causes problems when you're in a small space. So the family are now fully aware that we all need to be doing that, as well as the fact that they all need to tidy up as we go. And that is really important. And honestly, after the first 24 hours, everyone was on it. You know, it was second nature. We learned, another thing we learned was that we do not need 100% water on site. I think I showed it in one of my Instagram posts, but I think in the 2 nights we spent at Campsie Glen, we'd filled it right the way up to the top, 100%. After 2 nights at Campsie Glen, I'd had a shower, we'd been using the toilet, we'd, used the washing up, we'd done the washing up in the sink. We hadn't used the tank for drinking water or for the kettle, which I think I'm going to be researching using the freshwater tank a bit more. But just after using those things, we'd only used 20% of the water, so we now know that we definitely don't need it filled up. So that's quite useful to know, especially if you're driving out in between days, because you don't want to be driving with that much water on, because it affects your payload so much. So I think that was the main things we learnt. So the next thing is things we needed and didn't have with us. So things we had to buy. The first one was seatbelt pads. So for the rear passenger seats, of which I'm sat on one just now. After an hour or two into the journey, Henry's neck was really sore from the seatbelt, and they're not adjustable. So we got him, I think they were like £7.50 from Halfords for a set of 2 like velour-y type ones. I think they're here, really soft, and job's a good one. That was it, absolutely fine. That's all it needed. We needed a new brush and a new dustpan and brush. So we had bought a long-handled, cheap brush and dustpan, and it was completely rubbish. So we actually got a silicone head brush and a small dustpan and brush set, and the silicone brush worked amazing on the carpets in the van. So that's 100% a recommendation for me. 2 new towels. So I had packed microfiber camping towels for myself and Henry. I had trusted that Gordon would be able to pack his own towel, and I was wrong. So we did have to go and buy a new towel. So yeah, that would be one. Just make sure you take an extra towel is my advice on that. A new shoe storage box. We had this crappy cheap basket with a piece of carpet in the bottom of it, and it goes, the shoe storage box goes under the sort of this seat that I'm sat on when it's out in sofa mode. I will try and insert a picture of it here. And the one we had was rubbish, so we had to go and get another plastic storage box, and it's brilliant now. So that worked really well. Lap tray. I will get a picture of this because I can't show you it because the tripod's on it. Just a bog standard lap tray. We were actually just going to bring the one from home and I forgot it. So I bought one because I thought, well, it's going to stay in the van, so that's fine. Just because Henry's got his devices. Or if you're sitting outside and 2 people are already using the picnic table, it's really handy to have. AdBlue. We had this at home, we didn't take it, and the first alert came on the trip. We know that we've got loads of miles after, but we decided to just get it and top it up. So picked that up from B&Q. 4.5 tog duvet. So if you follow me on Instagram, you'll know that Henry spiked a fever on the Friday night and was very, very hot. And I had put 10.5 tog duvets into the van, which was really not a good idea. And it was because we'd been so cold the night before. Not the night before, but the trip before, when we'd stayed just over the road from here. But that had actually gotten down to 2 degrees. And of course, it was actually really warm when we were away last week. So we had to buy a 4.5 tog duvet for him. I knew that I had one for my duvet at home anyway, so we do need to buy another one for the second bunk bed, because I want to have both options available, and not in the van, but to make up for the trips. and Calpol, Nurofen and cooling forehead things. Again, Henry spiked to fever. The ones we got will just stay in the van because what people don't realise is, you know, adults can use them as well as an essential, as you know, in a push. So it doesn't hurt to have them in the van as long as you keep an eye on the best before dates. So that's what we had to buy when we were away. Pretty much everything apart from the AdBlue came from B&M, because we were stopped at a retail park and there was a big B&M. Just went in and blasted it. It was the biggest B&M I've ever been in. There was like 2 floors. Can't remember where it was. It was outside Glasgow, or was it in? It was somewhere in Glasgow anyway. So things we do need to do though. So this is the next bit. One of those silicone fold up electric kettles, electric travel kettles. The reason why is because I get up a lot earlier than everyone else and I wanted a cup of coffee, but that means I have to put gas on, which meant I had to vent, so I had to open the blinds or the door. It kind of wakes everyone up, so I'm going to get one for that. Yeah, so I want to get that. The other thing I want to look at getting is a cable. So we've got the hose to obviously fill up the fresh water, but one of the fully serviced pitches we were on, we couldn't leave it in because we don't have that kind of adapter and stuff, so I want to have a look at that. Wi-Fi, really need to look at getting Wi-Fi in the van. We have a 10-year-old. There you go. I don't know how else to put it. No, the other reason is we took out the TV bracket and we are actually planning on removing the TV antenna from the top of the van as well. The reason why is because in our house we don't watch TV as a rule. We're not amazing people who are just sit there and chat all night. It was just everybody uses their own devices. That's what I mean. People, because I tend to read a lot as my job. Gordon, he's not a big TV watcher apart from the football. Henry watches Netflix sometimes, you know. So I think, you know, we're more like, we want something that's actually going to enable streaming rather than having a TV. So we're going to look at getting internet as soon as we can, I think. What else was there? Torque wrench. Read a lot of horror stories about wheels coming off camper vans, so we're going to get a torque wrench. And the other thing I wanted to get was, I don't know where it is actually, I can't show you. We've got this kind of microfiber dish drainer thing, which is brilliant. It's really, really good. But I want to replace it with a silicone dish draining mat, so I'm going to get one of them. We also need to get a soft crate for the dog and collapsible dog bowls for the dog as well. But that can wait for another month because she's not going to be coming in the van for at least another month. Amber is a pug and she's not a particularly healthy one at the moment, so she definitely wouldn't be going anywhere near the van in the summer months. She goes and stays at Grandma's instead. And I think that's it. For now. So yeah, so that's our kind of what we learned on the first trip. We have another trip planned not this weekend coming because I'm working, but next weekend after that we're planning a night away at Loch Ness, which is only an hour and a half from us. So I'm sure there'll be more stuff comes up then. But yeah, I think that's it for now. So I hope, if you're a camper van newbie as well, you might have found this useful. I don't know. And hopefully when Gordon gets back from his work trip, we might actually get out this evening or later and have some pictures for you. Follow us on Instagram where we're at Aviemore Campervan, and you might get some pretty pictures of Aviemore. And yes, I hope you all have a lovely Friday and enjoy the sun. Bye.